Hello, this is Anna Imagine with Psych Soup. Psych Soup is my research laboratory. Quite literally, it's my laboratory where I sit down and I dissect current live events and I hypothesize or I apply a current living situation so I can analyze it, go back on the video and go, interesting, this is fascinating. And that little psychologist in my head just sits there and goes, this is fascinating. And it writes down all the events. My intuition told me, I love my intuition. Once you get plugged into your system, you realize that you have this identity and your self and then intuition that just moves you and shifts you like a ship at sea, telling you, this is where you want to go. This is where you want to go. This is the heading. This is what you want. This is how to get there. This is what you need to do. And once you are tuned into this self-shipping system, this self-sailing, I'm going to call it self-sailing system. I'm going to call it that from now on. Your self-sailing system. Once you step into this, you experience an entirely different way of living. This is what we do here. This is it right here. So I've been working on my theory. I developed Triadic healing. I put it out there. And then 2 days, last night, I discovered something called the spiral dynamics. And I realized, I literally just found this last night, and I looked at spiral dynamics and my brain went, and I went, oh my God. Spiral dynamics is a theory that humans have an individualized transformation evolution. And it's been broken down by 8 stages. The first 6 stages are part 1. That's the matrix. And stages 7 and up are part 2. You manifest when you get into part 8 and part 7, part 8. And I went, oh my God. It was just this massive realization when I looked at the psychologist who did this work. His name is Graves, Dr. Graves. And when he did this work, like it just lays out, this is the evolution. And Triadic healing is basically the how to get you through these stages. It was extraordinary to see my work lined up specifically with spiral dynamics. It was beautiful. It was like, oh my God, this is amazing, because it was just literally like, okay, this is the human evolution. And then Triadic healing is the how to get you through all of these stages. It's beautiful. So now that I'm tuned into my self-sailing system, I'll see a book and I'll go, I need this book, or that's information you need to acquire. So I bought these books. I'll grab audiobooks as I find them, and I just follow my intuition. I buy books based on my intuition. My intuition will see something, you need this, or you can't know this. And that's pretty much how my self-sailing system works, is whenever I get information, my intuition tells me yes or no, and I listen. You listen. And I found Jose Silva. Jose Silva released something called the Silva Mind Method. And as soon as I saw it, my brain, this is probably 6 months ago, I saw the Silva Mind Method. And I saw maybe a 2-minute intro, like a webinar on what it is. And it was attached to this whole course. I don't do that. I Google. So I Googled Silva Mind Method, and I found the book on Amazon. So I just went and bought Silva's book, The Silva Mind Method, which is the book that's used in all of the courses out there. And I did nothing with it. I listened to my intuition. I said, okay, intuition, I got that. And my library is more of a checkpoint of all these things that I have to study. It's literally a have to study list. My intuition says I need this. That's my read list. And I kept getting the snagging. You need to look at it. You need to read the book. You need to read it. And I just kept ignoring her. Yeah, I'll get to it. Well, I got to this one point where it was about 2 weeks ago, and I was literally evolving and growing, shifting, evolving, growing, shifting, in this constant adjustment period. And I reached this point where I manifest questions. I manifest knowledge. So instead of saying, I want X, I ask questions like, how do I get X? And my intuition points me into the knowledge to say, this is what you need to study. And it kept screaming at me, Silva Mind Method, Silva. So I said, fine. So I pulled up my book. I tuned into my audiobook. I pushed play. I listened to it for literally 2 minutes, and I got the answer. I didn't need to learn the Silva Mind method. I have a hunch, according to my intuition, that I already have learned the Silva Mind method. I've been practicing it on my own without realizing that this is what I've been doing. But that's not the point. I either have a system that is the Silva Mind method, or it's something better, or it's just something that works really efficient for me. So I don't need the Silva Mind method. One day I'll actually read the book. It was the first 2 minutes that I needed. In the introduction, it wasn't even the book, it was the introduction. It explained who he was and what he did. That's the information I needed. What he did was he graduated from high school. Maybe. He may have gotten a GED. I can't remember. I graduated from high school. I didn't go to college. Neither did he. He built a company. He became an entrepreneur, as did I. He then funded his own research to prove his own theory. It is a family-owned business with zero government, zero funding, zero NIM, zero everything. It was an individual with an idea, with the know-how, built the entrepreneurship, put the system together, and then funded the research and proved his theory. This is the path for me. And I went, son of a bitch, I don't need a college degree to prove my theory. Son of a bitch, I don't have to go to college, get a degree, and have a reputable degree among psychologists to be taken seriously. I can just do what John Silva or Jose Silva did. This is easy. Well, it's easy. It's easy. So it's exciting. It's adventurous. It's going to be time consuming, but it's easy. It's my path. And when I realized that if he can do it with his Silva Mind method, then I can do it with my Triadic healing method. I'm going to use the word method. It works that well because I can't call it therapy because there's like legal crap that goes along with the word therapy. So I'm going to call it the Triadic healing method. The Triadic healing method. Been trying to figure out what to call it, and I've been calling it a program, and I don't like that. I've been calling it a process, and I don't like that. But Triadic healing method. So the Triadic healing method basically teaches you step by step how to evolve your life transformation from anywhere from stages 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all the way up to 7 and 8. And I'm continuing my work and that's where I am now, is I'm actually on 8 and I'm moving to 9. And I'm actually doing the research now, like I'm live recording it. So John got, yes, his name is Jose. I'll get this right. Jose got started with, it was at the very end of at the very beginning of his research. He used his children. He ended up with like 13 kids, and he used his children for his research. And this is actually what started getting the attention, was his kids went from like C's and D's to A+ students, all of them consistently. And then they started teaching it in schools. And then they started doing research with the children. And it's basically a type of meditation from what I gather. And I think it's conscious awareness with meditation. And it basically, it's extraordinary. And I'm huge on promoting Silva's mind method with Triadic healing. I'm huge on telling people, look, take Silva's mind method and then combine it with Triadic healing method. And then understand, like, it's 3 parts. It's understand Silva mind method, understand Triadic healing, and then take a look at the spiral dynamics. And it's like, boom, this is how you evolve your brain from point A to point B. This is how you get from, and if everyone does it, then we literally level up our entire, human beings level up in general. And it's mandatory for my light workers. My light workers have to study the Silva Mind method and Triadic healing and the spiral. That way they can have an all-encompassing understanding of, look, this is what we're doing. We are leveling up the human race. So I have 3 children. And I have a 15-year-old. Yesterday, I just did some research on the belief system and how a belief can be bypassed, how a person can bypass shadow work. So that instead of them doing shadow work, which is traumatic and very unhealthy, they can instead do a Socratic method. Oh, look, the word method again. Yeah, I'm definitely going to use it. Socratic method used with formal argument and debate from philosophy, which Socratic method is also from philosophy. So you use philosophy to basically identify and eliminate. You use conscious awareness with meditation, and then you identify the limiting belief, and then you use philosophy and formal argument to eliminate and get to the root cause of the limiting belief. And then I explain how this is all a process of when you have to shift your perspective. So my son is moving down today or tomorrow, probably tonight. I'm really hoping tomorrow because I don't like being rushed and scrambling. And that means my parents will be putting him on a bus at like 7 o'clock at night, which means he won't be getting into New York City until 10 p.m. And then I will be hauling my son, a cat carrier, and a massive suitcase from Manhattan over to Brooklyn on the subway train, which is not something I'm looking forward to. That all being said, God, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I love adventure. I told the information to my daughter, and my 15-year-old basically received new information, received the perspective, and she's rejecting it because I have triadic healing. It was calm and logical. And this is what this is basically. All right, I have like a little recorder. All right, experiment number 1. I just gave the information and data to my 15-year-old daughter's subject, Elizabeth. She is not happy about the changes taking place. She says it won't work. That is a rejection of the belief and a refusal to accept the information. She is attempting to refuse and reject the known perspective shift. She says, we don't have the space. We currently are in a 3-bedroom apartment with only 3 people, in which one of those 3 people will be moving out very soon. We have 1 empty bedroom and an unoccupied living room. My son is only bringing a suitcase and a cat. There is plenty of room for him here. Interesting. This is not a belief. In fact, it is a distraction put in by her fear system, which is now trying to protect her because she detects danger, and the fear system is trying to keep her safe. Interesting. She either fears loss or fear of the unknown, and as a result, she is resisting change. The fear of loss is either a loss of control, a loss of safety, or it's a lack of certainty. Interesting, I gotta put that down. So she's either afraid of certainty or she is afraid of safety being lost or space. I think she's afraid of safety. And the reason why, or a lack of safety, is because her brother did abuse her. And that's really what we need to talk about. And we've been going over that a lot. And I've been doing a lot of work with Daniel. The other thing that she is afraid of is upsetting the former roommate who has pretty much abandoned the apartment and he's moved out. And she is terrified of being compromised with that safety. So I think that she's really just afraid for her safety. I think she's afraid of angering this narcissist roommate that we had here. And because she talked a lot about the roommate being present. Now, I tried talking to her about this, and she did the whole stomping off, which she's processing. This is processing happening. And her defense system is very high. So I'm encouraging her to use her communication. I'm encouraging her to talk about her fears, her concerns, and her improbable fictions, and what she is afraid of losing. She's brought up safety repeatedly without realizing that. But instead of talking about that, she just keeps repeating, we don't have the space. When, oh, yes, we do. We have a lot more space in this apartment than we did in the last apartment. So she thinks we are going to be living in this little bedroom. We are not going to be. He's going to be in the other room. She's coming back out again. Are you ready to talk? I'm researching. Are you ready to talk? I can pause it. I will shut this off. We're not going to talk live. Do you want to talk? Okay, she wants to talk, so I'm going to end this. I'll talk to you later. Shh. Okay.